Hi, have you ever tried something new, realized it's more difficult than expected, and then kind of felt too demotivated to continue? Well, good news, because that's exactly what we're tackling in this video. Let me introduce you to the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, and here's one of his many famous quotes. We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. I would argue that these words transcend time, and in fact are still very relevant today. So let's see why exactly that's the case. You see, most of the time, it's not necessary to reflect on how much our surroundings, experiences and habits influence us as human beings. This changes, however, when we want to change something significant in our life, like creating a new habit, for example. There are of course many factors that can be relevant here, like time and money. However, the biggest obstacle is often not a factor from the outside, but we ourselves. Because as long as we are comfortable within the little world we live in, we remain inclined to return there. So whatever new paths we want to walk have to be rewarding enough, either through their process or because of their destination, in order to be worth pursuing. But to unbind ourselves from our current situation, we also need to understand why we don't want to remain there anymore. So one way or another, there is necessarily a time within this change where we have to get uncomfortable, until we become a new human being with new habits. And it absolutely is up to us whether we dread that change, find excuses, and run away from it, or deny even that change is possible at all. Take working out, for example. In the beginning, it's incredibly hard on the body, especially for somebody without previous experience. So it's a learning process on top of physical stress. Now, how many people have you seen trying to get into fitness by starting out incredibly motivated? And how many of them have quit shortly after that because it became too much for them? The point here is, motivation is great, alright, but it's even better paired with realistic expectations. So practically speaking, in order to create sustainable habits, we are looking for a middle ground between idleness and burnout. We're talking about a spectrum, not a binary switch. Look, it's okay to ease into new habits, and it's fine to go slower when necessary, but it's not okay to search for some arbitrary reasons to quit. And it's definitely not okay to give up on something that's obviously important enough to care about in the first place. And here's why that's so dangerous. The choices we make are in turn the sources of our experience with success and failure in a broader sense. Meaning that setting goals and achieving them increases our confidence in our own abilities in correlation with their magnitude. So in order to attempt bigger goals at some point, it's fine to start out with smaller ones and work our way up. Now turn that around. If our experience is to give up on things that are important to us, what kind of behavior are we promoting with that? The relevance of Aristotle's quote therefore lies in its usefulness as a guideline to check if we are moving our lives in the direction we want them to go. For that, it's essential to be able to zoom out and look at ourselves and our situation from a third-person perspective, to be as unbiased with ourselves as possible. Because it's incredibly hard to acknowledge that we need to change something, since it means that now we have to do something about it. And before we can even do that, we first have to wrap our minds around the consequences of this new unknown direction. This is probably statistically viewed the biggest hurdle, because people get lost in the details before they can even get started. So how do we correct that behavior? The approach is roughly to know where we want to go and actually get started, instead of overthinking it, which might be a sign of intelligence, but in fact not a sign of effectiveness. Then, as we create new habits step by step, we can start figuring out how to improve. So as Aristotle put it, we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. If you want to change something, look at your habits. They are the key. Alright, that's it for now. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I would appreciate your feedback in the comments below. More videos are on the way, as well as a regular live stream, because habits need consistency. See ya.